how many people actually booked a call, how many people actually closed. We're probably doing like one client a month in 2020, and we were just doing paid ads and then like some emails sometimes.
No, it's super low entry. Again, like baiting that hook. What they want is pricing. Download our pricing.
I did have a little bit of bills, probably not. I didn't have like a mortgage and kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's gonna sound like super cliche, like maybe some Gary Vee shit.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm here with Hunter Uptmor and Jarek Rozyskie. We just met at the High Level Up conference, awesome conference, and these guys are doing some really cool stuff in a very unique niche. So I wanted to sit down with them, see how they've started things, how they've scaled things. Hunter, Jarek, thanks for coming on, guys.
Hell yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Pleasure to be on.
Yeah. So let's hear a little bit of background. What do you guys, what's the business you run? What niche are you in? And what level of revenue are you guys at right now?
Absolutely. So we own a marketing company and we service wedding venues. And currently we're at about 75K a month MMR. And we've been at it for the past 4 years and then 3 years specifically in the wedding venue niche so far. So it's been a fun journey and more to come.
Yeah, very cool. So walk me through your story. You said 4 years. You guys are young. You're like 22, right? Both of you. Mm-hmm. What was it like starting an agency at 18? And, what was the first year like for you?
Yeah, so we didn't make any money for a really long time. We started an agency at 18, but and we started, we took a course. It was like Kevin David's course, right? And you can say what you want about that, but it gave us a pretty good intro on how to run Facebook ads, right? But the biggest thing that was like a huge benefit to our success is we started working with his aunt as she was worked at an antique shop, right? And she actually referred us over to a wedding venue, right? And that was our first time getting to work with a wedding venue. And, we kind of got there and it really wasn't a wedding venue. Like, it wasn't an established business. We thought we were going to be millionaires. We were hired on as an agency, but it really was like a sales manager role. He was expecting us to come in, do everything for him, do the tours. He was trying to get us to write up contracts. It was so much more than we initially signed up for. And so we worked with him for a while. And this was whenever we kind of got our first taste of what we needed to do in order to help a wedding venue get more clients, get more bookings. And so we got there and no leads were coming in at all, right? None. They had a terrible website. They weren't doing any sort of marketing, right? And so we were like, okay, we're not getting any leads. We have to get leads somehow. So we signed up for, Wedding Wire and The Knot, which is like wedding sites. We, made them a website and nothing was really clicking. And we were like, okay, let's kick in Facebook ads and let's run Facebook ads for this wedding venue, right? And kind of right then and there, we started driving in leads for this wedding venue. And we're like, okay, this is great. But we go talk to the owner and there's no noise, there's no tours, there's no bookings, right? Nothing's happening. And so it was like, okay, let's evaluate what's currently going on with sales. And we go in and we find out that Charlotte, sorry, Charlotte, she'll never see this, but Charlotte, she was a little bit older and she had a lot of things that she did for the owner that wasn't related to the wedding venue. And she essentially just was not following up with leads. When she does, it was like 2 days after the inquiry would come in. Sometimes, a few hours she would get back to them, but there was no decent follow-up process in that, right? And we were like, okay, so this is a major problem. We're not getting back to leads. And so that's whenever we decided to kind of start integrating some, ActiveCampaign, Pipedrive, Zapier to try to automate some of that follow-up. And we did that and things started really getting going. And then we found High Level, right? And that was the big game changer for us because we installed High Level for this wedding venue and we started doing, getting more tours. And there were a few contracts signed. And we're like, oh my gosh, we know how to drive in leads. We built up a conversion step for this wedding venue. we could do this for other wedding venues. And that's kind of how Hitch Marketing was born. And after that, though, our biggest struggle was landing clients. So from 2018, it was like November that we ran our first ad with his aunt. We did not, really get to pay ourselves $1 until 2 years later in like October of 2020. Okay. And so that's just kind of how it goes. Yeah.
That I love the background. So I want to backtrack a little bit. Antique store. You were running Facebook ads for an antique store. How did that go? Did you ever end up getting any sales for it?
Well, so at an antique store, it's not like you're selling a customer like one specific product because there's like hundreds in there. So what we did is at that time, like you said, it was December 17th. We launched an ad, the first one, and we ran like just a New Year's offer, like 25% off, the store or whatever. It was like in a little town in literally BFE, far from like any major town. So that's kind of what we did. And there was a ton of good feedback for it. So she had a big following already on like in the local market for like this business. So when that came in, it was really neat to see like how people were responding to the ads and commenting and like, cause we did like an offer, like comment so-and-so and, tell us, use that comment, whatever, this keyword when you go to the store and you'll get a percentage off.
We built out a funnel.
Yeah, we did. But that was kind of the offer that we were running. We did it through ClickFunnels at the time. So yeah.
I love it. I have a friend that's also like in BFE and he ran ads for like a lawn mowing company that like he and his siblings run. And it was just like those areas, like the ads are so cheap. They just like ball out. Mm-hmm. We have a client like that, middle of nowhere, Tennessee. And like his ads are doing way better than everybody else's just because it's cheap. So anybody from a small town, just take note. So from when you like got introduced to this wedding venue to when you were like, we could do this for other wedding venues, how long was that process?
It was like 8 months, like 9 months, maybe more. Because we didn't really it was about a year. So about a year. We started in December with our wedding venue in 2018. And then we really started kicking in with other wedding venues about October of 2019. So about a year that we were working just with this one wedding venue. And I just thought that was really valuable because, I don't know, I think a lot of people in the agency space, they just want to go and like pick a niche and just dive into something. Maybe they saw something, oh, we got this snapshot and it looks great, right? And they don't really take the time to get familiar with that industry. Right. And if you're not familiar with it, you don't really understand the pain points and you really don't understand the problems that these business owners are facing and how you could possibly provide solutions for them. And I thought it was just perfect that we had to experience the problems on our own and we were in the same shoes as our client and we found a solution for this wedding venue. And that's whenever we said, okay, we can do it for others.
Yeah. So cool. And it's so underrated. I actually ran into a guy at the conference who was like, hey, like you make videos on YouTube, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, dude, I watched one of your videos and you mentioned like one of the best things you can do to start a marketing agency is go get a job. Like go work for an agency or go do marketing for, some kind of small business. He's like, and I did it. I just like went and found another agency in my area and like the guy hired me on. And I met his boss. He was also at the conference. And I was like, that's so cool. And it's exactly what you guys did. Like it wasn't, you weren't out there looking for a job, but you took the time to actually get down and dirty, like what's actually working in this niche.
Yeah. And I mean, being honest, we tried other things. Like we were at this wedding venue, but we were trying to get into other niches, you know what I mean? Because things just weren't, we were spending a lot of time with this venue, but we were also like, oh, other people are killing it in gyms. Me and Hunter used to go door to door at businesses in Waco and just knock on, look, we'll advertise for y'all for free and you pay, you'll pay us after X amount and then we'll start working. But once you bring results, once we start bringing results, we'll you can start paying us. And we actually got burnt by a big gym in Waco that said they were going to give us all their clients. And honestly, it was naive of us to think that would have worked out. But I walked door to door to about 30 car dealerships in August in Texas wearing slacks and a button-down t-shirt, and I was handing out flyers saying I want to do advertising for y'all. And not one person called me back. Not one single person. And I would call Hunter, you're not going to enough doors, bro. Like, we got to get one yes. That's all we need. So, yeah, it was tough, no doubt.
And this Waco, what's the population of Waco, do you know?
It was like 170.
Yeah, like
Okay.
170,000.
It's a fairly big town. I hear Waco, and I feel like it's like 500 people, but
I think most people know the name because of like the Netflix series or David Koresh.
Or like Chip and Joanne.
Yeah, Chip and Joanne.
okay. So you're like working with the wedding venue probably a couple hours a day, or like a few times a week.
Yeah, we're going up there at least 3 times a week at this point.
Okay. And how close is it to where you guys live?
It was like 20 minutes away.
Okay. So you're going up there 3 times a week. How much is the owner paying you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, he did pay us a little bit, but it was like a couple $100. But I mean, it wasn't much because we would go in there and we would like set up like styled shoots. Like, we brought a photographer in, set up like stage shoots and everything because he had no content. It was basically just like this barn in the middle of nowhere, and he was like, "I want to host weddings," and we're like, "All right,
Okay.
we're gonna give it a go here." Yeah.
That's what you meant by it's not actually a wedding venue.
Yeah,
Like,
he had like the facility, but it definitely wasn't like staged or renovated
Got
or
it.
prepared in any sense.
So you
for it.
like staged it, you got his pictures taken, you built the website, you did the high level, you did the Facebook ads.
everything.
Like basically built his entire business for him,
yeah,
except for the barn.
yeah, except for the barn. The barn was there.
And he paid you like $200.
Yeah.
It was like $200 a piece.
Oh,
Just thought
okay.
it'd be
All
fair
right.
on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dude, that.
Because it was supposed to be commission only. Like, it was because we were going to come in and do sales and we were going to get commission on what we signed. You know what I mean? And we thought we were going to be millionaires. You know, like, weddings are expensive, right? Like, we're going to make a lot of money. We're going to get a percentage. Like, we're going to kill it. You know what I mean? And I mean, it took a lot of time, you know, like things ended up going well, but by the time things were like wheels were rolling and things were going well, you know, that we really wanted to start working with other wedding venues because we knew the type of client that we wanted to work for and we knew we could help. And his venue wasn't really a wedding venue. So, you know, it was kind of going to go to a dead end.
Got it. Because he didn't want to like get enough bookings in, or what do you mean by it was going to go to a dead end?
His property just wasn't, you know, it wasn't desirable in the marketplace. Like this guy, I mean, he has a lot of money. He built out this western town with like this little barn thing, and it was really just like a playground for him. He built it like that, and then all of a sudden he wanted to start booking weddings there, right? Like whenever other wedding venues in the area he wanted to charge a premium rate for it. Other wedding venues in the area charging the same rate were like, wow, like this is super luxurious. And we actually now work with, you know, another wedding venue in the area that, you know, is like kind of high, really high end there. So
you guys built the business, but with like the worst wedding venue, probably.
No doubt.
Yeah.
To this day, they're probably the worst client.
And honestly, we were driving in so many leads though. And we were driving in leads and so many responses and like so many people, like serious interest. And it was like, how this place does not deserve this almost at all.
That's so cool. I admire it. I heard the other day that like apparently it's controversial to say work for free, like because a lot of people think they have, you know, this right to get paid for working, and whatever your political opinions are about that, like you can't argue with the work ethic these guys put in to like just eat dirt for a year.
2
2
We didn't
years.
get paid from his aunt either.
So were you running ads for an entire year for the antique shop?
Oh, no, not for an entire year. We did that for like 3 months. And once we started with the wedding venue, we wanted to get serious with that. Because she's a saint. Like she's probably one of the best people we know. She's a good Christian. She loves us. She loves Hunter, obviously. It's her nephew. Yeah. But we were like, we just need to run ads for somebody. You know what I mean? And I think working for free is how you find your niche. You know, like people want to narrow down and seriously find a niche. Like go work for other businesses for free. see who you can actually get results for, find out their problems and see if you're able to solve them. Then once you're able to solve that for that particular niche, try to get other business owners in that niche. And then whenever you consistently get results for X niche that you did, you can drop off your other clients and narrow down just on really what you know will work and what you know you can sell and get results for.
Yeah, love it. So let's talk about your personal lives a little bit at this point. Are you going to college? Like, do you have any bills to pay? Are you working a job on the side?
Yeah, so at this time, I was living at home for like the first, or because we launched like in December, I was at home for that next fall or no spring. And then I lived in College Station, so I was like an hour and a half maybe from Jarek. So I didn't go to school that year. Came back for like a semester back home. So I was like, I moved out, then I moved back in, and then I went for a semester, and then I was like, this isn't for me. At that point, Jarek was basically finishing up college, so I didn't really see any value in going to do an extra 2.5 years when he was graduating in 6 months. So that's the route that I took. It wasn't for me, and then Jarek can tell his piece.
I will say, I think the only reason that we were really able to work for free is because we went away from the traditional route of like going to college, going to a 4-year university. Yeah. Obviously, I think going to a 4-year university, like, if you're trying to really make it whenever you're younger and make really good steps in the right direction, I think, joining a frat and doing all that, like that's from 18 to 22 or can arguably be, the 4 most valuable years of your life. And I think that me and Hunter really just knew right off the rip that wasn't the direction that we wanted to go in and that we wanted to take advantage of those 4 years. So the only reason that we were really able to work for free is because, we would live with our parents, right? For the most part, we live with me, I live with my parents. I went to a junior college, the same one as him in Waco, and I just went to school. And you can call that a backup plan, but school definitely wasn't my priority at the time. And then, we were just slowly able to work and build. And COVID did hit like in 2020. And honestly, that's whenever, we started to we were working with more venues, and that killed the event industry. But for some reason, we kind of decided to double down on it. Like now wedding venues need help more than ever. Yeah. And so then college all went online, and that was perfect for me. So I could just finish school without having to go in-person classes. So I could do both, simultaneously. And so I got to end up, graduating from there's a 4-year college in the junior college. So I got like an accounting degree, but definitely not the traditional route in terms of going to school.
Yeah. I love that you guys worked for free. Like that's also, I was lucky enough to get a job where I was getting paid hourly to learn marketing with my family business. But like that, for those who, I get comments all the time on YouTube, like, oh, I can't afford a program. I can't afford whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like go freaking knock on businesses' doors and be like, hey, can I do something for you? Like, I don't care what it is. Can I help you? And that's how you learn. It'll take you longer, but eventually you'll gain the skills so that you can afford the program that will help you speed up your success from there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times you see in this industry, especially, like you'll see like case studies of like 0 to 10K in 2 months, or like 0 to 100K in 5 months. What people don't see is like the years before that of all the work that they've done, all the courses that they've done, all the shit that they've tried, and it's like they don't see all the preliminary stuff that they did to get to that point. And even then, it's like those results can be it's like an anomaly for someone to go to 0 to 100K in 6 months. Like, let's be real, like that's a feat.
Nobody does that unless they have previous sales experience or previous marketing experience,
or they're coming from a business where that was already like doing insane, and then they restarted and now they scaled again because they already knew how to do it.
100%. Like there's no one of my favorite quotes, Ryan Holiday says, there's no hacks, there's just hacking it every day. Yeah. Like do that for 3 years and you'll be in a pretty good spot.
Or like Cameron Haynes, I don't know if you know him, he's like a world-class bow hunter. His like term is like keep hammering. It's every day, just keep hammering. Yeah.
Okay, so 2020 hits. It's okay. So December of 2018, you start working with the wedding venue. So December of 2019, you kind of like end that relationship. You're like,
A little bit. We still work with them. We just weren't as hands-on. So
Okay.
we kind of had the system in play for them, and they had to. Oh, my bad.
There you go.
So we still work for them, but it just wasn't as hands-on. Like they used our system that we made for them, and we were still doing the lead gen for them, but we just weren't as involved in terms like they had to start hosting their own tours. They had to start doing their own thing, and then we had to really focus on, instead of being sales manager at the venue, we wanted to stick with, start really building the agency.
Yeah. And the other really cool thing about what you guys did is not only ran ads, but you did the sales portion of the niche, and that's like one weakness that I actually still have, and I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like saying to my clients, let me come in, let me watch what you guys are doing, let me consult you on it, because it's such an issue. And like most of the stuff that these businesses need are so basic that like if you take one sales course and you like actually apply yourself for a year to like learn, you're going to know 80% of what you need to teach any business about sales. And that's probably I would say one of the biggest things from an outsider looking in that I would say has contributed to your guys' success is like understanding the industry inside and out through just, eating dirt for a year.
No doubt. And it's a really big benefit in the way that we develop the system, right? You hear about the 0 to 100Ks and all that kind of good stuff. And what I kind of found is that if you can make money that quickly doing something, that just it really means that somebody else can too. And it's easily replicated, right? Where our niche is like really hyper specific. There's not many people in our niche. It's a hard niche to get really good results for. It's something you have to really understand in and out. And we were able to kind of build a dynamic product that we knew would solve all of the venue owners' solutions. And doing that made it where I know nobody can just walk in and just replicate what we've done. I know Russell Brunson isn't going to have a funnel hack like, look how this people help wedding, because it's just so dynamic in the ins and outs, especially whenever it comes to the back end of the sales system that we built for them.
Very cool. So let's dive into that. It's January 2020, and you're like, okay, we're going to go after venues. Is that when that happened?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was your first step? Like, how did you start outreaching to more wedding venues?
I mean, really, we just kind of were at that time. Everyone was like doing like do organic outreach. So that's kind of just what we did. I think I just locked my phone. Oh, it's still going. Okay, cool. So yeah, at that point, I think we only had like a couple of clients. It was like 2 or 3, honestly, in like January, February, and then the COVID hit, and honestly, that weirdly allowed us to scale at a pretty good rate. Like from that March to like, I want to say like November, we went from like a couple K a month to like 15, 20, I think, something like that.
It's probably like 15.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a crazy scale, but it was scale for us because we were been used to not doing anything really. So it was really
all the money coming out of our own pocket, from being able to actually pull it out of the bank account,
Yeah, so it was really cool. And then we actually got really good results for our clients too at that point. I remember like one promotion we ran, it was for this venue. They had 7 weddings booked in the past 3 years. And in the first 2 months of working with them, we booked them 20 weddings in 2 months. It was like pretty surreal. And we actually got to go down to that venue and like meet them and go to a wedding that we helped book.
Very cool.
So it was like a really neat experience to do that when meet them.
And were you going like locally again in Waco or outside of Waco?
No, that was just the luck of the draw with that client, really. We were really going hard or trying to go hard in Facebook groups, but as you know, like getting into certain Facebook groups, it's really hard, especially when you have like the marketing tag in your bio and stuff. So it's like they're not going to let you in. So we get into the free ones and just do what you can with them and then try to make content as much as you can. We were trying to do a lot of content because we knew we need to have it because we weren't doing enough of it. So I think that helped a little bit as well. And as soon as you get that first testimonial, it's put that thing everywhere.
Love that. I love get comments all the time. Oh, all the Facebook groups are bad. Like nobody will let me in. I'm like, put your email there. Like request to go in, and I guarantee you, like 50% of the groups are still going to let you in, even if you're not a doctor or a wedding venue owner or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
I've been let
absolutely.
into so many groups that I'm not supposed to be in.
We got let in, but we eventually got kicked out.
Yeah. Be careful once you get in.
Don't message the admin of the face. Just make sure you tell your VA, whoever you hired, do not message these people. All right? But I'll be honest, like organic definitely got us our first few clients. And we got some flack from some people in the industry, like sending out Facebook messages and stuff like that. Like, don't do that. Don't join our Facebook group and send messages, and like trying to almost bring us down. And that was like almost a good key indicator that we should keep going. Like they don't want, and they just because some other people were also in the space, right?
Yeah.
And so they were telling us, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And it got us our first few clients, and that was really big for us. And we got to change some people's lives. Don't hesitate to send messages in Facebook groups, right? Because you have something to sell them. And especially like with your offer. So our offer, book 100 plus weddings a year. Like 99% of the people in the Facebook group, they need that, So don't hesitate to send them messages if you have a service that is going to be able to help them,
Yeah. 100%. I love that. Hunter, what were you going to say?
Oh, I lost train of thought. I don't know what I was about to say.
It's so good. I have a friend that, like, for those who are like, oh, but I still, the Facebook group, it makes me nervous. Like, just go friend, like search the name of your niche, friend everybody there, and you're building your own Facebook group on your Facebook page. So you just start posting. I have a friend that did this, got a bunch of audiologists on, and then like posted, hey, audiologists, like I'm doing a free trial, and like got 5 people to comment on the post that he made on his page that no admin's going to remove and nobody's going to get upset at him about, It's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
to think outside the box.
Yeah, adding friends on Facebook was really big for us, and then referrals was also really killer. If you start getting killer results for your clients, then they're not going to hesitate to, because we've gotten a good amount of clients from referrals who just like us, our clients name dropping us,
Love
and
it.
then or like they'll just be like, hey, call this person, they want to speak to you. So
Love it. So, okay, so you scaled to like 15K in a few months. COVID, by the way, for anyone that was starting an agency or like had an agency or any online business in March of 2020, it was like, everybody was like, oh no, what's going to happen for like a week? And then all of a sudden it was just like, boom, everybody blew up because there were more people online. And if your business is online, like more people are going to find you. So you scaled to 15K, and then you got those first few clients through Facebook messaging. What happened after that?
we experimented with paid media actually, and that's when we kind of had like a little bit faster scale, and we weren't doing anything crazy. It was just like very, very simple targeting, not a crazy budget. I think it was like $2 or $3 grand a month, absolute max at that time. Or we would run like I don't want to break down everything, but it was like 64 ad sets at one point. But you cut those pretty quick, and then you just scale like the 2 or 3 that are really working. I don't know exactly where that brought us as far as like revenue or retainer at that point, but that definitely made a big impact. I think we were at around 18K revenue, and then we started paid media. So, because we weren't, like Jarek said, like, at this point we still really weren't paying ourselves. So we were just putting everything back into the business.
Yeah, we started paid media in I think it was like that September, October of that 2020 is whenever we started running ads. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So you start getting more, wedding venues booking in. Like, have you lost a client at this point?
We might have lost. I think we lost 1 or 2. We tried to do PPR at one point. Pay
per result, right?
Yeah. And we constantly were just like developing our system and making it better. We weren't, obviously nobody's perfect, and your clients don't expect you to be, but they just expect you to be fast. They expect you to be fast and to develop and to make things better. And as we started getting, we made some more money. We were able to hire some virtual assistants that were able to help us with a little more of the menial tasks. We were really able to lock down the product. And yeah, I mean, you lose clients every here and there, especially during COVID. We had a client that was in downtown Chicago when all the BLM riots were going down. And they were like, we're not getting bookings. I'm like, dude, there's a war zone outside your front door.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to go tour either. You know what I mean? Like, it's going, like, literally there was, like, his windows were boarded up. You know what I mean? But I mean, we had a few here and there. But typically it wasn't, I think it was the positioning that we did during our sales calls that really like kind of in the expectations that we set, people wanted 100 bookings in a month, you know? And so we didn't have good expectations, or we would mess up in terms of like the onboarding and the execution of setting good expectations of how the onboarding will go, when they can expect to see results, just so, you know, we're, you know, not over promising and under delivering.
Yeah, got it. And so you start the paid media in October, you're working out the system, kind of get some VAs to take care of the menial tasks. January 2021, where are you guys revenue wise, like business wise? Paying yourselves now?
Maybe like 30, 20, 25K.
I think like 30, 35, because that's when we finally started paying ourselves. Was that, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I think we were at like 30, 35 that January, because then I think we finally started paying ourselves that January or February, and then we moved to Dallas in May, so it was like quick.
Cool. Sweet. So you've been in Dallas since May of 2021.
Yeah, a year and a half at this point.
Cool.
And just to be fair, we were only paying ourselves like $2,000 a month, like fees, like literally.
It was just enough to pay rent.
Literally nothing at this point. And honestly, in 2021, I mean, we grew. We wanted to grow a lot faster. Like we really wanted to grow a lot faster. We definitely struggled to scale. And whenever I say that, we've tried literally just about everything to try to scale our business. Like we've done it all. We've taken we've done a lot of the big courses. We've done, we tried cold email, and we tried, Facebook ads, and we did all the organic outreach, LinkedIn, everything. And honestly, it was at a point where, we grew, I'm not ashamed to say it, we grew a little slower than what we wanted to. Yeah. And we, a lot of times it felt like we were running in motion. But we just kind of believed in the product. And we kind of believed that we knew we could help people. And I knew my clients, they would never leave. So it's not like we could just drop the ball right there and, switch a niche, like this is what we wanted to do. So we grew really slow throughout the rest of 2021. And I think that, we just like incrementally added on clients. We kept our churn at less than like 3% every quarter. We were losing maybe one every 2-3 months, right? So it was, we were just consistently, just getting by a little bit. And that's how it kind of went throughout most of 2021.
Very cool. And then 2022, I assume just more of the same, like some slow growth.
Yeah, we kind of added on some new things. I want to go back one I said earlier. We're actually I think at 20K at the beginning of 2021, because at the end of 2021, we were only at like 30, 35. I remember looking at a sheet. But for as far as 2022, cold email has been a game changer. It's it's basically we've doubled everything, or more than doubled everything since just this year alone. So that's been an absolute game changer for us. So we were still trying to do organic and the paid media. We still run ads to this day, but we're not doing it crazy lucrative, marketing Facebook ad schemes and stuff. So, and we're also actually not even doing a bunch of organic at the moment. It's we're really going hard at cold email and calling people, pick up the phone and call people. Yeah. Basically.
Okay.
Wait, damn, I lost my train of thought. So whenever I think we were making 20 in that January. And I think a big key indicator of it was, time to make a shift is we actually we did go with the sales agency and Rob Quinn, and they're awesome. But then we really started to dial in on the power of actually doing sales, I think we realized at this point, getting sales, at the beginning of 2022, we were getting sales isn't as easy as just sending people Facebook messages. At least in our niche, it wasn't, right? Yeah. You have to try harder, right? You have to call your opt-ins. You have to call the people opening your email, right? You have to make a real effort to develop real sales skills and develop a sales team to consistently get a flow of appointments coming in.
Yeah. You gotta go hunting.
It's not just so easy as sending a message and getting a bunch of clients.
Yeah. It's I went through a very similar period in my agency where we had built up somewhat of a brand similar to, I'm sure, what you guys have in the space, where we'd get people reaching out every once in a while, we were running ads, and you feel like like, I feel like all the gurus say, like, run ads. Like, once you can run ads, like, it's fine. And I was like, okay, I'm running ads, so I trust, like, people are going to come. And looking back at how many people actually booked a call, how many people actually closed, we're probably doing, like, one client a month in 2020, you know? And we were just doing paid ads and then, like, some emails sometimes. And now, like, this beginning of, I want to say it was just this year. Yeah, just this year, I was like, we are setting a really, really firm quarterly sales goal, which is 12 clients per quarter, so one per week. And we're sticking to it. And, like, whatever it takes to get that, that's what we need to do. And that has been just simply focusing on, like, this is the number, this is what I want to do. And if 12 per quarter sounds insane or one per week sounds insane right now, like, just do one per month. Like, if you can start with one per month and do it for a year, then you can do 2 per month, and then you can do 3, and, like, just scale from there.
We did the same exact thing. We had a meeting with our appointment setter, and he's still on our team, been on our team for over a year. We just looked at, we needed more appointments. We close really well.
Yeah.
Like, we get them on the call and they believe in the product. We close.
Yeah.
And we needed more appointments. And we just looked at them. I just looked at them and I just said, a call a day. I want you to book one call a day. Like, you have 8 hours in the day. Like, whether we have the hottest leads in the world that are coming from us emailing people, right?
Yeah.
We have the inbound from the ads, right? Like, I need you to book one call a day, right? And he did. And man, he went on like a 16-day streak of him just booking appointments. Like, every single day he was throwing a new appointment on the calendar. And it's just like, make it simple. Don't be too incredibly overwhelming, because at the end of the day, you are like X amount of clients away from hitting your goal.
Yeah.
Just construct your KPIs to get there. And at the end of the day, one call a day was like it for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you still doing that one call a day? What's your cadence on how many you want to close per month?
Yeah. So right now, I mean, we have it written on that board right there. So in order to get to our goal of 100K month, we need to add on, what is it?
15.
We need to add on 15 more clients. So in the next 2 months, we need to have, this would be like our third, that would be our third biggest month of the year. So
Push.
we need to have a push these last few months to get to 100K. So we need 14 new clients, so 7 clients a month by the end of the year, which I'm really confident we'll be able to do it, because we're going to push out something cool in regards to like Black Friday or like Christmas or something like that.
Cool. And when it comes to fulfillment, Jarek, I know you handle this. What's the, without giving away the farm, you know, what makes you guys unique, and why are you able to get results where somebody brand new might not be able to?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So first of all, in terms of like Facebook ads, right? The targeting is really direct with wedding venues. The targeting is really direct. And then as long as you get a really, you have good creative and you have a good call to action, you're able to target specifically engaged couples, people that set their status as engaged on Facebook. But then we're also able to track, if they're looking at wedding venues on the internet. Right. So the targeting is really simple, really about locking down the creative, getting a good call to action.
Is that an interest, whether or not they're looking for a...
Yes, it is. So there's third-party sites called Wedding Wire and The Knot, which are competitors. That's like the status quo wedding venues go to go get bookings and be found, right?
Yeah.
So we can literally just target those that are visiting those websites. And if they're on those websites, they're looking for a wedding venue. Really helps our venues separate themselves.
And by the way, what Jarek just said is like literally everything there is to running Facebook ads. Like, it's not that much more complicated than like good copy, good creative, and like decent targeting.
Simple interest. That's really it.
Yeah.
And so doing that, we were able to drive in leads for our clients like $1 to $4 a lead.
Dang.
Like, the targeting's that easy. It's that simple. We got to rotate, you rotate the ads out whenever the frequency gets a little high, but we consistently are able to drive in that number. Now, like we kind of brought up, the back end of just like producing those sales is really the hard part. And to do that, you have to bait the hook, right? And with our clients, the main hook that everybody wants to know, and I'd like to argue that a lot of industries is like this. When people are on your website, they want to know how much it costs, right? And that's the same case scenario, especially with wedding venues. They're going to look at wedding venues, they're price shopping. They want to know how much things cost. So instead of just like not having or having the pricing on the website where they can just see it, right? And you miss out on all these leads and opportunities because you gave them what they wanted, right? Or just like not having the price and making them click a contact us button, right? That's not a lead magnet, right? Because they don't know what they're getting whenever they fill that out.
Yeah.
We changed the hook, the call to action to get pricing. And so right then and there, we're able to quadruple the amount of leads that our clients are getting. Right. And we're giving them the main thing that they want and also the pre-qualifier for the venue. So at this point, all we're really doing is sending them the pricing. We are engaging with them and trying to get them to respond. And then once they respond, we know they've seen the pricing. They know it's included, not included. Then all our clients have to do is go in and respond to them and get us tours scheduled. So we pretty much just make it like a 6-inch putt for whoever is, being the sales manager at the venue.
Very cool. And the ads themselves, is it just sign up for a free tour?
No, it's super low entry. Again, like baiting that hook, what they want is pricing. Download our pricing.
You know what's funny is our number one performing campaign ever in my orthodontic agency is curious how much braces cost. Click here to try our cost calculator.
Exactly.
People just want to know, man.
Exactly. They want to know. And that's the first step is like getting for a wedding. You got to find out how much you want to spend.
Yeah.
To find out, the first thing you do is pick a wedding venue.
Yeah.
So that they need that. They need that pricing to know, what's going on and to get their journey started.
And the people that download that, what do you think they're thinking about? They're thinking about buying because they want to know the price.
Everybody opting in is looking for a wedding venue. And whether it's for them or for their their daughter-in-law, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But either way, all those leads coming in are, they're prospects and they're being qualified by the price and the questions that we ask them in the automated campaign to find out like if they're, if the venue even has the date available, right?
Yeah. So what do you guys charge the weddings or the venue? Sorry.
Got it. So we have a $1,500 a month package with a $1,000 setup fee, right? So the first month is $2,500, and then every month after that it's $1,500. Now SaaS we do $750. So if they just want the system without Facebook ads, then it's $750 a month.
Okay, cool. And how many would you say you have just on that SaaS plan?
I think I looked and it was like 11. I think it was like 11 clients.
Okay, cool.
So very few compared to, all the others.
And will you build out automations or do anything for those SaaS clients?
Oh yeah. So they get they get everything that all the other venues get. They just don't get the Facebook ads. So they get a ton of value. Like 750 is like, honestly, we had to increase it because it's like SaaS is a very, just only SaaS is a small amount of our clients and other people are paying us so much more. But almost all the delivery and all the time spent with the clients is on the SaaS, right? It's not the ads. So, we had to start charging more. So we were able to give people that were paying us more money, the same and equivalent amount of value that they deserve for, what they're paying.
I love it, dude. I love it. The other question I had, now it slipped my mind. Let's see. What does your team look like?
Yeah, so right now I think we're a team of, it's 8 or 9 technically, 8. But so we have, it's me and Jarek, obviously, and we have a setter on the sales side, and then we have
is that like a contractor or does he work for you full time?
Basically, yeah, but he's been with us for over a year now at this point. So.
And when you say setter, like he responds to inbound leads or anybody that comes from the cold email campaigns? Does he run the cold email campaigns as well or just respond?
He just responds. We set all that stuff up.
Cool.
So there's him, there's me, and basically him on the sales side of things, and then me and Jarek kind of both do a little bit of marketing, and then he's all fulfillment.
Yeah.
And on the fulfillment side, we have an account manager, and we have a media buyer, and then we have 2 VAs that kind of help out with other tasks as well.
Okay, so account manager, media buyer, 2 other VAs, appointment setter, and you and Jarek.
And then we have a video editor,
okay.
like part-time kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That does clients' ads? Like,
the media buyer?
Or does he do content for you guys?
Just the ads right now. We actually just brought him on, so
nice.
It's been a big help.
Cool. Were you going to add something, Jarek?
Yeah, so most of our, as far as the heavy lifting goes, our A players for the most part are on fulfillment. Our account managers, a beast, media buyer we just hired, most of our payroll expenses comes down to fulfillment. And then we have
one more I forgot for
Oh yeah, and then we have a systems integrator, and he's our bad Farouk if you ever see this, but he's a beast. He's like a Bob the Builder. You tell him to build something, he's going to build it, and that's just a huge help. All the back. I don't want to look at Zapier. I'm never looking at Zapier ever again. You know what I mean? Like not now. I used to hate that thing, right? So we need those automations built. He does it, but we have, for the most part, we like our account managers, our media buyers. Our media buyer, US based, and we have our support, like that to answer, the questions that, we have the SOPs for and stuff like that. The lower, kind of like the lower priority tickets that we get. We have a support person that's in the Philippines, and she's fantastic. And then Hunter, so like 5 of us are all from the United States. Yeah. So big players though, we have US based.
Cool. And those 3, it's the systems integrator, the account manager, and the media buyer are the 3 that are based here in the States.
So it's our account manager, media buyer, appointment setter.
Oh, okay.
Our systems integrator, he's in Pakistan. And he's awesome.
And he does Zapier automations and high level stuff, I assume.
Yeah.
He does everything.
Okay.
Yeah, he worked with high level for a while.
Cool. Very cool. So is he full time, or the people across the pond, or where in other countries, are they full time?
1,000,000%.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. And the account manager and the media buyer, how did you find them?
Great question. So I actually got our account manager from one of our clients, because she was, as soon as I hired, or they signed with us, right? She was just like telling me nonstop ways of how the system could be better, right? Like it could be this. She built out an entire workflow for their sales team. They have like 5 team members, like of how the system worked. Yeah. And I hadn't even entirely done that, like built it out on Lucid Chart and all this crazy stuff.
Wow.
And she like made our relationship so incredibly organized, and she worked at this venue for 4 years, brought it from the ground up. Now she was using our system, so she knows how our system works.
Yeah.
And so all the experience that you need to know as a wedding venue, right? And she knows how to use our system, and she's just like a perfect match for me, because I'm just kind of like, I'm all over the place, and she's just so like streamline in systems and build it out, SOPs, nice. Right? And it was a brilliant hire. We ended up losing that client, which was really, honestly, kind of upsetting.
Because you hired her?
Yeah, no. I thought it was going to be like, because I was going to call him. I was going to call him and ask, right? I talked to it about like with her name's Alicia. I talked to her about it first, like, do you think, you'd be interested like in a spot like this?
Yeah.
And then obviously I was like, hey, like I'm going to call Rick though. And I just want to make sure it's all cool. And it turns out like Alicia told somebody at the venue, like, hey, like Hitch talked to me, like I'm kind of interested. And they went and told, the owner of the venue. Right. And so I called the owner one night, and he is just like, yeah, what do you want to tell me? And he is just crazy mad. And you're coming to steal our talent. You took our person and going. And I was like, this was just like we were going to pay her more money, right? And 2, like I gave her a great growth opportunity for later down the road, X amount of years. She's able to, get some rev share, right? Like this is an awesome opportunity for her to grow and use her skill sets. So we got her, and we lost one client, but I mean, like it. Totally worth it. Like she's a beast.
That's awesome. I love that. So let's hear about the media buyer now.
So the media buyer, I went and I made a bunch of posts on Facebook, really on LinkedIn. I did the little job posting. It was like one of them was like $50 a day, and I did that for a while. And we got a really good applicant, and we got several. A lot of them came from LinkedIn, but the sales agency, one of their guys actually referred him to us, this media buyer. His name's Ben. He referred Nathan to us, and Nathan used to be a CMO at an agency, but he doesn't like doing that. He likes the media buying. He likes the project. He doesn't like talking to clients. Yeah. He just wants to run Facebook ads, and that's all we needed. So it was a good hire for sure.
That's great. What I love about what you've done is hired people with more experience than you. That's my biggest mistake, hands down. Biggest mistake I've made in every single business that I've run has been like, I know it, I'm going to teach it to someone who doesn't know it yet, and I'll save money. Not true. And the best hires I've made have been, I love all my team members. Like, I don't think any of them will find this, but if they are, I love them to death, and it's just like a personal thing. But the best hires I've made for the business have been people with experience, previous industry experience, or other sales experience, or whatever relevant experience. And it means I get to ask them what to do instead of them asking me what to do. And that is a completely different dynamic.
It's definitely, it makes you so much more dynamic in the way that you interact with your clients, and just the overall experience everybody on the team has. And honestly, I don't want, and I know Hunter doesn't either, I don't want to be the smartest one here, because, we started when we were 18. We never worked with a big company. Like, getting a good culture on our team, it's we'd never experienced it before. Mm-hmm. So having other people that have came on and have experienced that somewhere else, it's just made us so much better. Yeah.
Very cool. So let's hear last couple questions here. For someone starting out, let's hear this. We'll ask Hunter this one, then we'll ask Jarek the other one. For someone starting out with bills, with kids potentially, with a mortgage, with stuff that's like not the situation you started out in, what would you recommend if somebody can't afford to work for 2 years for free? How would they get started?
That's a great question. So I did have a little bit of bills, probably not. I didn't have like a mortgage and kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's going to sound like super cliche, like maybe some Gary Vee shit, but, like I would say until you're like making legit money with this side gig, I think you're going to have to grind it out one way or the other. Because at the end of the day, like, especially if you have kids, mortgage, other bills, you can't just drop that and, hope this is going to work out, because it could work out in 3 months or it could work out in 3 years, So I'd say keep the job you have, eat the dirt, and keep grinding it out until you figure out something that does work, where it'll like supplement what you're currently making, and then, take that path that way. So I think it's really dangerous to drop what you're doing completely and just go all in and all your marbles in this basket. Some people may have mixed opinions where it's like, well, now I can't allocate time to this and that, but if you really want to, you can. So it's just about priorities, I would say.
I love it. And Jarek, follow-up question to that. What would you say to somebody in your position, 18-year-old from a small town in Texas that wants to start a company? What's the number one piece of advice to them starting a marketing agency in 2022?
Ooh, starting a marketing agency in particular? Yeah, that's awesome. So you have to learn new skills. Invest in yourself before anything else. Most of the things that you are buying as an 18-year-old kid is definitely useless, right? Like, I cannot think back to one thing I purchased when I was 18 years old. I can't even remember probably anything, right? But I'll tell you what, I remember that Facebook ads course.
Yeah.
And although maybe it wasn't that great, right? But man, that got our start. Invest in yourself and learn new skills, and then just build off of that. But as soon as you acquire a skill set like Facebook ads, you have that skill for life. Like, this is something that's intangible. That's your first step in getting started. Next thing, don't spend your money on stupid stuff. Again, always invest in yourself. Don't buy a new car. Hunter made that mistake. But he sold it. He sold it though. You realize
for like 2 months, and then I was like, "This is a bad decision." So.
No, he had it for 2 months, and then he was like, "I don't want it," and he sold it back, and he bought a $8,000 Volkswagen. Yeah, and just bought it in cash.
I love it.
Yeah, but learn sales. Like, if you are an 18-year-old kid and you want to start an agency, learning the skill set of the Facebook ads and all this good stuff, that's great. Getting your clients results, obviously, that's going to be the most important thing in the world. But invest in sales, because we started and we thought we weren't going to have to be salesmen because the product was super good. And it's just not true. And as soon as you learn sales, you have that asset for the rest of your life, and it can be applied in any single industry in the entire world. No matter what you go to, if there's a recession, you know that you can go to any business and you're going to be able to help them and you're going to be able to make money.
Yeah.
To add on to that real quick. So at that age too, it's like I think it's really important to be curious, like ask a lot of questions. That was like a main thing from a keynote speaker right today, and your network. So ask a lot of questions. Even like like sometimes you don't want to ask questions in class because you might feel stupid, like it's a stupid question. Piss off with that. Like ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask anyone that you think can add value to it, and get those answers as much as you can. So
I love that. Jarek, Hunter, thanks guys. I think this is going to help a ton of people. There's a lot of people that I wish I had this interview when I was starting out. So I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Take care.
This was great.